Hey everybody, my name is Rachel Lockney and I'm going to start trying to do a video style blog. And I know it kind of seems like maybe white noise with the amount that's out there, but I wanted to share some of my tips on how to save money and also on how to make money. I have a lot of people request this information, so I tried a writing blog, but it takes a long time to build an audience. So I thought I would try this method since it's on YouTube and an established platform. So the first tip that I have to give today is one of my favorite ways to make money, and that is on Mturk. It's kind of my fallback when I don't have other jobs going on. For example, I pick up a lot of temp work online, which I'll go to in another video. But as far as my fallback for when I don't have a temp job or whatever, I always use Amazon Mturk. So as far as how to use that, and I'm sure you've seen this on other videos, but the reason I always come back to them is it just seems to be a steady flow of ways to make some money on there. And my favorite way to do that is by taking their surveys that are on there. And I know that people talk about survey companies all the time. I have tried so many survey companies, and it really just seems like you can't make that much money because you don't get that many surveys. Whereas Mturk always has jobs open, and there's other tasks that you can do as well. Hits, since that's what they refer to them as. But if you take the time to find a blog online, or I guess I shouldn't say blog, but more of like a forum that tells you which hits are worth doing to actually make a decent income out of it, it's actually worth your time, I feel like. No, it's not going to pay as much as going out and finding a part-time job, but it is a way to make some extra income when you're short on extra work. Like I said, I do it in between my temp work that I find online. I have 2 kids, so it's hard to be able to find jobs online. And so this is a good fallback. I can usually make about $6 to $7 an hour, something like that. Sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little less, depending on what's available. My favorite forum is actually the Reddit one. That's like hits worth turking for, or something like that. But there's many more online that you can find. And they provide you links directly to the ones that pay a decent amount, because there's so many on there that don't. That's why a lot of people go onto Mturk and think, oh, well, this isn't worth my time. Well, there's not many on there that are actually worth your time, but there are those select few, and throughout the day there's plenty that are posted. So with 2 kids, my fallback generally is to since I don't have a lot of time to just sit and directly work on that for an entire hour, I set a goal for myself each day, which is normally $7 a day. I know that doesn't sound like much, but I am just trying to make a part-time income. And again, I don't have a lot of extra time because I do raise 2 kids and take care of a home. So I said $7 a day, which if you multiply that out and actually stick to your goal, that's over $200 a month. And no, that's not a lot of money, but it is enough to maybe pay your electric bill or go out to eat a couple of times, just loosen up the budget just a slight bit, or pay bills. And of course, you can always set your budget higher, but that's just my goal for each day because I don't have a lot of extra time. But to take an hour throughout my day, I don't just sit and work straight through it. I check the forum maybe once an hour and click on one survey, get it done, and go do some chores around the house, and then come back and do another one, and so on and so forth. Now, there is a limited number of people that can take these hits or surveys, whatever you want to call them. And they're not all surveys. It's just a lot of them seem to be. But there is limited space. So if you see one you really want to do, grab it up fast. I usually grab them up and then I look at how much time I have for them. And so a lot of times I'll accept like 2 or 3 of them. And then even if I know I have something to do in between, I just make sure I come back to it and get it done before the time elapses. So these are just a few of my tips for Mturk, and I would highly suggest checking it out, especially if you're just in need of like a couple $100s a month. Like I said, it takes about an hour throughout the day for me to make $7, and it might not be, straight throughout the day, as far as I might not have an entire hour just to sit down and work on it. But if you do have just a little bit of time here and there, the money can really add up. And again, it's not always $7 an hour, but on average, that seems to be about what I get, between 6 and 7 an hour, and sometimes more and sometimes less. So give it a chance, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm giving this a new try. This is something I've never done before. I hate my picture taken, so I certainly hate being on camera, but I've had so many requests for this, I thought it was about time that maybe I try to get the information out there on how I make a little extra money here and there.